Hi, everyone. Welcome to Salon Today Conversations. And today we're diving into tipping, technology, and integrations. And I'm joined by an illustrious panel. We've got David Tashjin from Tippy and Adam Kennedy from Tippy and Tina LaNoue. And you own, is it Hair Loft?
Hair Loft Salon and Spa.
Yes. In Salina, Kansas.
Yes.
Which is, I grew up in Kansas City. I looked it up because I didn't know where Salina was. It's not too far.
No, it's not. It's right where I-70 and 35 meet.
There you go. And today we're going to kind of talk about, we're going to dive into the Tippy technology, which if you've been around the last 5 years to any trade show or picked up an issue of the technology issue of Salon Today or come to Data Driven, you've probably met these guys from Tippy. But David, kind of take us back a little bit in the history and what was the idea behind founding this technology and what was your vision?
Well, Stacy, I'd like to say it was all my idea, but it was my brother-in-law's, Terry McKim, which everybody knows in the industry a lot better than myself. He was working at 7 salons owned by a very close friend of ours in Reading, Pennsylvania at the time, and came up with the idea there. They were tired of paying processing fees on the tips as people started coming in going, can I put my tips on credit cards? I forgot to bring cash. And that was frustrating to the owner. The other thing that was frustrating was at the end of the day, the stylist still wanted their cash. And so we were going to the bank every day. And for every one of the 7 locations, taking out $1,000 to $1,500 a day, coming back at 8 o'clock at night, sitting there and going through receipts, doling out the cash. And you can imagine that cash found all sorts of different places to go hide itself when we were doing stuff like that. So
plus that's just time consuming.
Oh, it was frustrating. Everybody wanted to go home. It was just not a happy thing. It wasn't, tipping should be a happy experience, and it was not a happy experience for anybody. So we architected the solution, launched it. L'Oreal saw it and teamed up with us to help get it out nationwide. But our goal early on, we had 3 goals. We wanted to scale quickly so we could get it out a lot of places, and we did. We're already in all 50 states. We wanted to brand ourselves quickly so everybody knew who we were. And like you said, everybody knows little green Tippy the pig. And then we wanted to prove ourselves. We wanted to prove ourselves for reputation. So the points of sale would then come back to us and say, hey, you guys are out there, you've proven, you're reputable. We like to talk about integrating, which would allow us to scale and offer it to a lot more people a lot more quickly. And we did. And the thing that really helped in our reputation, everybody on our sales and support team, we hired from the 7 salons. They had been through the 1.5 years of pre-work on it. They all knew it. Every one of them also worked behind the chair at one point in their career. So they knew how to deal with people. And thus we developed a great reputation within the industry because it came from industry and they understood problems and solutions. So here we are, it all worked. And now we're at this kind of this second stage, this juncture where we're now starting to integrate with points of sale. They've come to us and they've said, look, we can't have a solution for everything. We can't build apps for everything. You guys have a pretty robust solution. You got a great reputation. Let's integrate and partner up and offer this to more and more people. And that's kind of where we are today and what we really wanted to chat about.
So you've proven the technology, and now you're starting, and then now the POS systems are coming calling and saying, let's work together and provide a better solution to everyone. Where are you in that process? And Adam, this is where you kind of come in because you're the director of partnerships, or that's not exactly your title, but that's in your title. So where are you right now? Who have you integrated with? Where are you in the process? What's the plan?
Yeah, so currently we are fully integrated with Envision. So Tina Salon actually took us through the beta. So that is ready to go to market as of today. Salon Ultimate is currently in beta and will be ready in the month of May. Rosie will be integrating in the month of May as well. STX, we will be ready by the summer. And currently we're in Mevo 2's marketplace as well as MindBody.
So you're really, really getting out with a lot of people. You're
We
really reaching
are.
a lot of songs. So Tina, you've used this from the beginning when it was not integrated.
Correct, yes.
What is the difference in usage for the
Oh my
owner, and for
gosh.
the stylist?
Right. So one is, I mean, definitely the speed transaction for our guests. That's been amazing because we can have where it gets congested at the front. Before we were having to use 2 different transactions, one with Envision for their service and retail, and then one for their Tippy. So it was definitely about 1.5 minutes longer with each person that we were working with the time all transactions happened. So the speed has increased tremendously. Our kiosks also, I mean, it's just with it making it easier for our guests and faster, then they're able to go in and they can tip without confusion. I think it's lowered the confusement down by quite a bit. And again, it's been an increase in income for our service providers because when we lowered that confusement, I would say, and this increased the speed of their checkout, they could actually go in and tip even a little bit better, I would say, because we've seen a gain just in the kiosk change and the transaction of just one transaction.
So before they would have to swipe their card, you'd have to swipe their card for the service and then swipe their card for the tip. It was a separate process.
Well, and where we had them, so we would swipe their card for Envision and then we'd give them their card back. They would use a Tippy kiosk, finish out that, and then they'd stick it in. But you have to understand, they only do it once every 4 to 6 weeks. So they forget the time they come back in. So we're helping out a lot. So that's where that true 1.5 minutes comes in, is because we're like, oh, no, don't put it back in your purse. Hang on to it, bring it back out. So, I mean, we really did change the way we check out tremendously.
Now, one of the key things that I thought was really cool when I first learned about Tippy is that the stylist has an app and they can also see pretty soon how much the client tipped them on their way out.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that's a benefit of it too. I mean, if you consider how we used to handle tips to now how they can see it immediately is fantastic. Also, they can split their tip, which is another great part about it, because if they have an associate, they can split the tip rather than in the evening, breaking it down, taking it apart, figuring it out. Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier and lets them know a little bit faster.
Now, you didn't design this with the pandemic in mind, but it did play into it because it makes that tipping process cashless and touchless pretty much, which has been a kind of a nice benefit, I imagine. You're not having to handle all that cash from the bank every day and worrying about where it's been.
Oh yeah, I mean, that definitely, because you're exactly right. We started with Tippy when our salon closed down. So we work with, I work with High Performance Salon Academy, and they introduced us to it. And so we just came back. This is the way we're doing it. This is how it's happening. So we did lower those cash transactions. So for COVID, it was great. And then just ongoing forward, we've now minimized the cash in our drawer. And so you got to think about our drawers, we don't have shortages in our drawer or mistakes. We have less mistakes. It's such an easy checkout. So we know in the salon industry, when we had so much cash going in and out of the drawer, there's going to be more mistakes. So our closeouts are a lot faster and easier.
And then Tina, how have your team members responded? What do they think about Tippy? And then what do your clients think?
Right. So great question. So the stylist, what I think that they got to see through Tippy is they see the accumulation of their income coming in. And so with that, they're able to actually utilize their money just a little bit differently. Cash seems to slip away pretty fast. They're actually using this in budgeting and how they live their lives. So maybe creating a vacation fund, and that's where the Tippy money goes. So they've really seen a life changing for that. Our even annual incomes went up because when our tips went up by 25% with Tippy, that increased their incomes, and they've seen that. So that was really great for them to see. And then with our guests, I mean, again, they love it just for the simplicity. You know, we still have them like, they're like, that's it. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. they're like, can I go? Yes, just, you can go now. Thank you. You know, so that we laugh and go through that. But yeah, so our guests have really enjoyed it.
And how easy was it to set up?
It was very easy, honestly. We just honestly just took and plugged it in, went through Envision and enabled the Tippy to be able to be integrated. And literally that was it. I did have to string the cord through my desk, but other than that, that's it.
Now, you know, I'm a data girl. We do data driven every year, but you've got some data on tipping. Why is tipping higher with Tippy than it is through a traditional credit card or cash or check payment?
For one of the things that we found, or basically, you know, when we go to finish out their transaction, it's going to offer them 20, 25, or 30%. And then down at the bottom, they have other. So what happens is most people don't want to figure out what is 20%, what is 25%. They just want to do it. We are in a fast-paced world, and that's exactly what it gives them. It gives them the option to do exactly what they want and put it in there. If not, we were asking, you know, how much would you like to tip? So it takes a comfortability down, or makes it easier for our desk staff to take care of our guests better, because it is sometimes where you have to ask, what would your gratuity be? And they're going, well, so again, it makes them uncomfortable if they want to spend or give the gratuity of a certain amount. They can do it discreetly in any way they want to. So it's just helped taking the guesswork out of it.
Now, Devin and Adam, you recently sent out a press release about partnering with Branch. Can you explain what Branch is and how that's changing Tippy for the future?
Yeah, so we're really excited about our partnership with Branch. So Branch is a modern payments platform that essentially offers fee-free financial services. So within this partnership, it will allow service providers to receive tips instantly to their Branch digital wallet, and also have a zero fee FDIC insured bank account. So often I think we're asked, like, what is a digital wallet? So Apple and Google offer the ability for users to safely secure credit cards, could be airline tickets like boarding passes, concert tickets. You know, it was really fascinating. I've been traveling here recently, and I noticed at the airport after COVID, almost everyone has their boarding pass on their wallet now. So, and I recently read a study that 61% of the new generation that's currently enrolled in cosmetology schools or universities use a digital wallet at least once a week. And in Japan, 71% of the population has adopted wallets, digital wallets. Wow. So definitely something that will not be going away. And here in North America, we tend to be a little bit slower to adopt, but physical cards, in my opinion, will be kind of a thing of the past here in 5+ years. It's super safe and secure. It offers a lot of convenience at checkout. If you've done the tap and go, it's super easy. Essentially, it uses like a two-way factor or Face ID in order to, you know, secure that payment. And it's easy to shop online with a wallet, because you can just simply use your Apple or your Google Wallet for checkout for e-commerce sites. Enrolling in Branch is super easy. It's free. The entire process takes minutes. There's no credit checks. And one of my favorite perks of Branch is that it does offer cashback rewards. And one of my favorite vendors is Chipotle. So if you think about it, you don't have to feel guilty about adding that guac onto your ticket now, because you're going to get cash back for that transaction. There's free ATM withdrawals, no overdraft fees. And then for any user or service provider that still wants to use a physical card, Branch will provide a physical card as well if they want to take a more traditional approach to checkout.
That's great. So this is tremendous. I mean, my husband's been about the digital wallet for a long time. In fact, he forgot his wallet on a recent trip, and he still paid for almost everything with his phone. And a lot of us are, like you said, are introduced to it through airline tickets, because a lot of airlines have you download them to your wallet, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know I had this on my phone. So, but that's really cool that you'll be able to do all of that with Tippy. How have you all seen over the years stylists become more financially responsible with Tippy rather than dealing with cash tips? I mean, Tina alluded to it a little bit.
You want,
But,
you want me to, I'll throw in something there for you, Stacy. That is a resoundingly great question. Because in our salons, we had one of our big issues. Well, everybody, they get $100 of tips, they put it in their pocket, they'd leave, they'd stop by Target, they'd go to McDonald's, they'd go out for a glass of wine or two with their friends, they'd get home, they'd have $20 left in the pocket, and they would come in the next day and they'd come in and say, I'm not making enough money.
yeah.
And it's human nature. You know, if you got cash in your pocket, it tends to flow out. But also, unless it's in your face, you don't realize. And that was one of the early features we added in the Tippy, was for them to see all day long the tips increase, so it tracks it all day long. But also they got the full tip history. So we had stylists come in and say, I'm not making enough money. We say, open up your Tippy app now. And they'd open it up and they realized, holy smokes, what surprised us was with these wallet-based features and as such, they start to save more. So not only do they realize, and it's one of those things, when you realize how much money you're making like that, you start to pay more attention to it. Again, it's only human nature, and they start to save more. And that's a big thing that we really are trying to get out in the industry. We've been to, we go to the beauty schools and we talk to the beauty schools, and we launched a few schools with Tippy. And first of all, it's amazing to see how fast the younger kids will download and understand the wallet so quickly.
Yeah.
Quicker than I can. I'm trying to help them all get launched, and they'll launch before I can finish my speech. But the second thing is to have the opportunity to talk about financial advocacy, financial literacy, make it a more inclusive product, and get things that they normally couldn't get, is a big help. And we're getting some nice kudos back from some of the stylists, because, you know, not everybody can get a free ATM network nationwide and stuff like those features that Adam mentioned. You can even, you get into our wallet, into the Tippy wallet, and you decide you'd rather have in your Bank of America or your Chase account or your credit union. You can ACH it right out of there for free. You press a couple buttons and send it right to your own bank for free if you don't want it in the wallet, and it goes over there quickly. So it's not like a Venmo or a prepaid debit card or anything where they have all these fees added on.
Well, and then just being able to track, I mean, what you said about them not realizing how much they're making in tips, but being able to actually track that, I imagine, helps with things like paying taxes and proving to the bank that you make so much in money so that you can take out a loan for a mortgage and things like that. So
I hate to be morbid, but even going to Social Security, you get more Social Security if you're doing it this way now.
yeah. Well, great. Well, where can people find out more about Tippy or sign up for it? Where do you go?
So we will be at Data Driven.
I know you will, and I'm so excited.
But if you happen not to be joining us at Data Driven, you can visit us at meettippy.com, and we'll be happy to connect with you.
You guys have a great site. There's a lot of questions and answers on there, so you can really kind of dive in and learn about a lot about it. Because I've used it every time I write a story about Tippy. It's a great resource. So go to meettippy.com and learn more. Thank you, Tina, David, and Adam, and I appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you guys at Data Driven.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Tina.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye-bye.